Well, hello YouTube. So I finally got time to make a short vlog. A busy old week. I'm afraid it's been more decorating at home, and then we've had quite a few appointments at the hospital, and I've been unwell. I've had a real bad chest infection for about 2.5 weeks now, which is slowly getting better. But I think it's possibly turned into bronchitis, but anyway, whatever. And then this morning we had a visit from my wife's going to have to start doing dialysis probably in the latter part of next year with a bit of luck, but they're already preparing us for the fact that she's going to have to start, because she is going into kidney failure. She's still got a function at the moment, so let's not get too dramatic. She's okay, but she's going to need to dialyse. And lucky for her, she has a husband who's a paramedic who's actually been trained in CAPD, continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis, and I've also done the automated version of it as well. So we're lucky in that I can do that. And we had the palliative, PD nurse down this morning, peritoneal dialysis nurse down this morning. Peritoneal dialysis is the one where you have 2 bags of fluid and you do it through the peritoneal layer in your abdomen, as against the hospital version, which is hemodialysis, where they plug into your arm and to circulate your blood through an artificial kidney. So we're doing the better version as far as I'm concerned at home. And nurse said to us, Carol said to us, do you get a carer's allowance, Mr. Calvert? So I said, no, I'm not getting anything for looking after Judy. I do it because we're married. I don't need people to pay me to look after my wife. Oh, that's not right, she said. You should be claiming for carer's allowance. And then she said to Judy, who does all your housework nowadays? And she said, well, without Graham I'd be lost. But she said, I do as much as I can, but he helps me. Right, so she said, you're also entitled to, is it called a care allowance? Basically, she could pay for a cleaner to come in and a helper and that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I went online, found out the appropriate departments at the DWP that I have to ring, and of course you couldn't just have one phone call, it has to be 2. So the personal allowance, that wasn't a problem. That was pretty, blimey, same colour as mine. It was pretty well straightforward. But then when it came down to the carer's allowance, that's me. This girl at the DWP said, how old are you, Mr. Calvert? I was like, 70. Oh, so you're drawing state pension? So I said, yeah. She said, it may well be that you're not entitled to claim a carer's allowance because you're at home and therefore able to care. I thought, so if I went to work, you'd pay. If I went to work and earn more money, you'd actually pay me a carer's allowance. But seeing as I'm on a state pension, which is less money, you're not going to pay me at all if you can get away with it. So I said, right, it's okay. Send me the forms and I'll take them to the Citizens Advice Bureau. They'll sort it out. And should have made a tone change when I mentioned Citizens Advice. What a bloody country we live in. They'll screw pensioners for every bloody penny they can get out of us. I worked, well, as good as 50 years, Air Force, paramedic and private ambulance service, and I've never taken a penny off this bloody country. And then when it comes my turn, yeah, you can bugger off. Unbelievable. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. As they say, watch this space. And then the final insult, this really pissed me off. Right, I live in England, we speak English in England. The first thing that they say to you at the DWP is, do you want this conversation in English? Now, I'm sorry, I don't care how unwoke this is, I take offence at being asked what bloody language I should speak to them in. I'm English. I've lived in England all my life. I live in Yorkshire. You don't get more English than that. That's a joke, by the way. And I'm bloody offended. What a bloody country we live in. And I'm sure there's plenty of people in my generation who feel the same. It's like round here we've got one of these mayoral elections, which, if you want my honest opinion, I think is a bloody waste of money. Why do we need another mayor, another bloody politician? And the choice we have is basically between Reform, who were fielding Luke Campbell, who was a bloody boxer, or Margaret Pinder, who's the Labour politician, and the rest, according to the local media, the rest are non-runners. They're just a waste of a vote. And I thought about it. I thought, you know, I'm not bloody interested. Stuff it. So I'm not voting. I couldn't care less. I think it's a stupid post. You know, it's just paying another job for the boys, isn't it? So I've said to Julie, I said, oh, you can do what you like, but I ain't bloody voting that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, enough of that. I got another nice little toy for the CL, which is now becoming a rip-roaring success as far as I'm concerned. And if you... bloody nose is itching. Oh, sorry. If you give me a minute, I'll find somewhere to pull over and I'll let you have a look at what I've bought. I'm just coming back from the doctor's. I'm not actually planning to go for a ride because it's Wednesday evening, so I'll be out after tea anyway because it's bike night. So just nip up here and take the first left there and you can see what I put on the bike. I can't use my remote control because I've got number 2 camera with number 1 remote control. I can't be bothered to mess about with it. It's easier just to leave the camera running and I'll edit it when I get home. Is this road? Oh, I thought it said it was shut. It's alright, it's in. Nice little pull in here where we can stop. That'll do nicely, thank you. That's better. Turn it off. I don't want it rocking it off its side stand. So I've now got the engine bars for the bike, and get nailed down so you can have a proper look. By Puge, and they're very good, nicely made. Clamp at the top, and then there's a new stainless bolt that goes in there, and I think it makes a really nice job of it. Weren't particularly expensive. They're 154 quid if you go online, but if you shop around, I got mine for 139 from Moto Planet, and it's the same place that the screen come from. That was a Moto Planet product. They do a lot of stuff with Puge. And for all it says Puge on the items, the actual box that they came in said Shad. S-H-A-D. Which I know they produce a lot of parts for the accessory catalogue for Honda. So yeah, I'm really pleased with them. I've had a couple of near misses where I've nearly dropped the bike. You you know, lost my footing on sandy or gravelly surfaces, and then one time in the garage it nearly went over. I managed to catch it both times, but had I hadn't done, they would have saved it. You can get covers to go on them. Oh, I can't think what the proper name for them is, but I decided I'm not going to. Sliders, you can get sliders for them, but I don't think I'm going to bother. Unless I see some at absolutely incredibly cheap price, which up to now I haven't seen. Woo, back end went then. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is that? It's just going sideways. A bit of drifting. $1,700 miles. In I've had the bike 6 months yet. Yeah, I have. I've had it 6 months. How time flies. Beautiful fields of oilseed rape, a glorious yellow everywhere, look, as far as you can see. One of the prettier farm crops. Bloody clouds of green fly I'm riding through. I can hear them, ping, 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 ping. There's loads of them about. I like riding my bike like this, just a quiet, all it has been is like, I've only been out 20 minutes, but I really enjoy these little rides. Just makes a nice break in the day without having to do stupid mileage. They were talking to the dialysis nurse this morning and she said, we're going to need a fair bit of room to store the fluids we're going to have to use. So, they don't envisage. They think the earliest Judy will start doing dialysis is probably November of this year. But they're sort of saying they wouldn't be surprised if she didn't go until November 2026. What they do is they have a chart, and they've progressed. They monitor her kidney failure with this chart. When we first started going to the kidney clinics 5 years ago, she had a 35% function. And that's when it first was brought to our attention that she was having a problem. I think I've been bloody stoned, you know. Ouch. Anyway, then last September time, we went to the renal unit, and her consultant there, a lady called Dr. Williams, said, right, this will be the last time you come here because your function is now at 15%. So she's lost 20% of her function in just over 4.5 years, and she said, we know this is becoming catastrophic, so we have to start making plans to look after you. So you'll go now, instead of going to the renal clinic, you'll go to what's called the low flow clinic. So they'll monitor her now. Her function is 14%. And when she gets down to somewhere between 8 and 9% kidney function, that's when she'll start with, it's called CAPD, Continuous Ambulatory Peritoneal Dialysis. Look it up. But they say the bit of good luck for Judy is, I, as a practitioner, was trained, I was palliative trained, and part of the palliative training was CAPD and APD, supervisory functions. So I've done it, I've done the training. So I was talking this morning, Carol, the nurse who came, she said, Mr. Calvert, you seem to know a lot of medical terms and you seem to be following what I'm saying better than most of my clients. And I said, that's probably Carol because I'm a retired practitioner paramedic. She went, oh, how lucky are you, Mrs. Calvert? She said, you know, it's the perfect solution. So I explained my care plan and all that to her, and she was like nodding her head, and, you know, I said to her, I'm a bit out of touch, I'm a bit out of date with some of the thinking. Because I used one term which we used to refer to it as poor urine, when they produce poor quality urine. But they don't use that term anymore, it's obsolete. So what she said is, they'll take me onto the renal unit, Ward 50, and I'll get a morning's training to bring me back up to speed. But she's like, oh, this is really, you know, good news to know that you've got this kind of support at home. And you know, I'm chuffed to bits that I can help the lass. It makes me feel good that I've just got a reason to live. You know, I can do this, look after her and look after her properly, and take all the fear away, because she's really frightened. So yeah, but and then she saw the two motorbikes in the garage, and she said, yeah, I don't know if there'll be enough room for all the boxes with the bikes in here. So I said, oh, don't worry, love, worst case scenario, they'll have to go. And then I thought long and hard about what I just said, and I thought, well, maybe one of them will have to go, and if they do, the monkey bike will go. I won't get rid of this one's too useful. But we ain't come to that yet, we're not even close to that. And there may be an option to get a bigger shed which I can put the monkey bike in, so we won't worry about that anyway, because I don't know if I'll have the time to ride them. So it might well be that the kind of ride I've just done now is the future of motorcycling for me. But the way I look at it is, that's better than nothing, and it'll just give me a bit of quality time, a bit of me time. We'll go and ride my motorbike, because if I don't feel very good, if morale's down, this bike, I just like owning it. I love everything about this bike. I thought I liked my monkey bike best, but it's getting to the point now where I really like this CL. I'm really, really taken with it. It just does everything. It's amazing how well it does. I mean, it just does everything really well. You're no worries. It'll take you from one end of the country to the other, and it'll do it in comfort. And if I did happen to get rid of the monkey bike, because I'm not saying I'm going to, but if I had to, I'll take the screens and that off it and keep them for this one. So I've got a choice. I'll keep most of the. I'll just sell the bike basically with its uprated springs, and that's it. Everything else I'll keep. But you'll just have to see how much. I personally don't think I'm going to need as much room as she thinks I do. I know how big the boxes are, because they're 2 litre bags of fluids. So what I need to do is put some framing on the wall and then line it with that really thick black plastic, make a nice clean shelving area to store it on. So I've got an idea in my head how I'm going to do that. Well, I've only been out a short while. I say I'm going out again after tea, but I've enjoyed my little ride. It's done me no harm at all. One thing I would say is these forms that you have to fill in for carers allowance and the maintenance allowance and stuff like that, they're like small books. The amount of information that they want to know, and the lad who does all our painting, Mick, he said to me, he said, they do it. He said, my lad his lad works for Citizens Advice Bureau, and the consensus of opinion is they deliberately make these things difficult because it puts off a lot of people from claiming. How cynical is that? So, and then the final piece of good news that I have to tell everybody about, and which is the best thing that's happened to me since 1986 when my daughter was born. I'm a granddad. 1 minute past 1 on Sunday afternoon, my grandson, William Michael, came into the world, and he's a little Bobby Dazzler, and I can't tell you how happy it makes me to have a grandson. He's a great looking little lad. I'm going to meet him, all being well, maybe next week. Anyway, that's it for now. Please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Ta-ta.
Oh. So there goes Graham on the mighty sail.